All right, back once again here for sports. And I got to talk a little bit about George Reed. Now, I just saw a video of him about talking about his CFL career, and I think the racism he faced, and of course, the CFL, they they have a there's some sort of code or that they live by back then. This was back in the 1960s. They treated black players very badly. I think it's better now, but I would say the league still has a long ways to go. It's not just regarding treating the players very treating the players better, black players better, but also I would say also hiring also comes to the hiring process of hiring black ex- hiring black men to work in the executive positions and team ownership. CFL still has a long ways to go on that. And George Reed talked about the racism he faced when he was playing for the Saskatchewan Roughriders. And there are only I saw him with a pit saw him in a picture of some players, and they only had two black players in the Saskatchewan Roughriders football team. You believe that? Just two black players. And yeah, he faced a lot of racism in there. And I didn't know that he faced that kind of scrutiny when he was playing for the Saskatchewan Roughriders. I thought back then, in the 1960s, Canada did not discriminate against black people, particularly black players in the CFL in the 1960s. Of course, that was a time where America, American blacks were fighting for civil rights, joined the civil rights movement and fighting for their rights, and being chased by dogs and getting watered by hoses. But yeah, the CFL, I would have to say, it's just like the NFL, where most black players play. They oftentimes never get any kind of promotions to work in certain careers, like say, not just as players, but as sometimes as coaches, sometimes as executives in most of the most of the white collar jobs within the teams, and particularly team ownership. That's very bad. But I have to think of it this way: the CFL, like the NFL, is pretty much like a plantation for black players, for players, certain players, especially black players. So that's something to think about and ponder on about George Reed and the kind of treatment that he got when he was playing for the Saskatchewan Roughriders.